Well, the place called Altadena in California, as we all know, had a tremendous fire. And for a long time, I was wondering about when will these people begin to rebuild, because I realized that there were lots of black ownership in that area. And I was very suspicious about the burnings. But I was just wondering why. Why weren't they prepared, knowing that this had happened in that state quite often, all the time? So I began to look into it to see how many black people own homes, how many of them are renting, ownership, or just even live there. It was quite a few. It was a refuge for us, and those properties was passed down from generation to generation from the early 1900s. And the people want their land. They want to rebuild. Only a certain amount of permits have been given to these people. So let's check this out here.
A group of people who are white collar and blue collar, mostly white at this point in time, who start looking at places to live in the Altadena area.
It was at a time of racially discriminatory housing covenants. Many black families couldn't get a home loan. But then a convergence in the 1960s. The Fair Housing Act banned so-called redlining, just as many African-American families were uprooted during construction of the 210 and 710 freeways.
So few people got into western Altadena, and a few white folks got upset. Oh, there's black people moving in here, and then they started moving. So you get white flight. So then you get properties that are opening up. The western section of Altadena was affordable, and they got up there.
At one point, nearly half of Altadena's population were African American, building lives, futures, and they often mention generational wealth.
Community building, your sense of identity, your sense of well-being. It's intangible as well as tangible assets.
Assets, many of which are now in ruin. The recovery, a new chapter in Altadena's history.
Well, it'll come back in a newer form, because some of those families who have had this multi-generational experience there, and they like being there in that area, they want to come back.
And we should support that.
And we definitely should support that.
For Black History Month.
Now that we've heard some of that history about Altadena, it's important for us to understand that these are tactics that they use, okay, to take our land and steal our generational wealth, okay? It's important that we support them, let them know, no matter where you live, that this is your land. No matter what the situation is, we can't allow them to take our land. We are very behind when it comes to land and real estate ownership in this country, and we shouldn't be. But that's by design. They could have easily made it possible for us to receive the capital and to receive the loans and the finances to purchase. With all the purchasing power that we have, we should be purchasing property and homes, because property, let's face it, will always go up in value, and it will keep you with wealth and your family. As long as you hold on to it, pay the taxes, you can build homes on it, knock homes down, and 30 years later, you could build another new home on it, and it will have lots of worth. Lots of worth will come with that. So we must remember that. Let's check some more out. 61% they were found of black households was affected by this fire. Okay. Let's see, 42,000 residents in Altadena, and 18%, which is larger than our national percentage, live there. I think we should look at this particular area as an example of the percentages that live there next to the percentages of black owners in that area. And as we all know, it's only going to take a matter of time before other ethnic backgrounds and people come there. Okay, it's only going to take a certain amount of time before they want to come out there and sort of reclaim what they so-called gave us, which they didn't give us anything. Our ancestors and the people who live there now purchased and kept those homes up, paid their taxes and their homeowners, and that wealth belongs to them. Let's check out some more information about this particular situation.
The historic community of Altadena left in rubble after the Eaton Fire destroyed thousands of homes, a place where generations of families built their dreams. This property on West Calaveras Street is being sold with an accepted offer of $550,000.
Did you hear that price? Did you hear that price? Take it from me. You cannot buy a home in the hills in that type of community for $550,000. Why this particular owner sold it, from what I hear, he was a renter, an investor, and he rented the property and he took the amount. But this is just an example of the way predators, corporations, government will get your home. But let's proceed.
Real estate agent Brock Harris says the seller was a landlord and that the home was a rental property. He says a dozen offers were made. Closing is expected this week.
We probably got 20 phone calls a day. But a lot of professional home builders saying we want to be part of the Altadena rebuild. When I see Altadena is not for sale, I fully agree with the sentiment, which is that no one should panic sell. No one should be pressured to sell. As a result of listing this property, we've gotten a lot of calls from other homeowners who own vacant lots now, wondering what to do with them, just looking at their options.
As this community navigates through the next steps of the process, Altadena not for sale signs can also be seen placed in yards, a coalition wanting to preserve the generational history of this community.
Now, as you could see in that video and the other video, you see signs that say Black Homes Matter. Why would they create those signs? LA. Are they trying to reach a certain people to let them know that, well, $550,000 for lots is what they're giving for properties out there? Are they looking for someone who's having a rough time right now, whose insurance is not paying as much, who's fighting to help just to get the debris removed and rebuild, someone who's displaced right now? I believe these are tactics to let you know what the going rate is and to sort of push you into selling your property at these ridiculous rates for this land that was built up, equity that was built up in this land out in this state that lots of us are not really in anymore because we couldn't afford to be there, and the ones that are there are struggling and trying to hold on to their generational wealth in this economy that they bring in illegals to come in to blow up properties and gentrify communities with foreign people who can't even speak English and be prejudiced towards our people. Yes, that's going on in California today. Hopefully these people dig in and hold on to their properties and don't sell them for that little bit amount of money, because they're not giving out permits. Here's a little information about the permits.
We're going to continue to work with them throughout the month of June to get those permits in place.
As NBC4 first showed you last week, the Army Corps has cleared 90% of properties in Altadena that opted for their service, well ahead of schedule. But what is lagging behind is the issuing of building permits by the county. We have been tracking the county's website. In late April, the site showed 4 building permits approved in the Eaton Fire burn neighborhood. Weeks later, on June 2nd, the number had only increased to 14, with more than 600 applications received. Today, the county's website shows 21 building permits have been issued with a 42-day average turnaround time. The goal is 30 days.
Now, she said 14 permits, 4 by the time of April, and as of today, and as of 2 months ago, 14 permits. And so many lots have already been cleared. Now, there's been a few thousand homes that were damaged or more. 600 applications for permits. So what are they going to do with the other thousands of homes that are just sitting there? I mean, wouldn't you put in the permits? You get insurance, you get your money, or if not, you just at least get those permits in for your homes to be built, to let them know that you're keeping your home. But look at this.
Into opportunity. Lawmakers in Sacramento are pushing a new plan to transform fire-scorched land into affordable housing.
Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live with more on how this could reshape communities devastated by the January fires. Matthew?
Yeah, it really could, and a lot of people that live here are watching this very closely. If you drive around Pacific Palisades, I mean, this is pretty much what you're going to see. Most of the lots look like this. They've now been cleared. It's basically just dirt. So now the question, what's going to happen to them? If you take a look at this video, think back to 6 months ago as the Palisades fire ripped across the area. Tonight, residents here are all watching closely in Sacramento. Senate Bill 549, the proposal already passed by the state Senate, would allow LA County to make a so-called Resilient Rebuilding Authority, a group using tax dollars to buy fire-destroyed lots and rebuild them, some of them as low-income housing. While the bill's goal is to address housing shortages, many residents feel like the government isn't listening to them and their concerns.
Well, as you can see, the government is trying, but the people are pushing back. But they want to hold it and see what goes on in 2026. I wonder why. I wonder why you just don't leave it alone totally and understand that people want their homes and land. And those lots will be worth even more money once homes begin to be rebuilt up and spaces start to go fewer and fewer. And if somebody wanted to sell it, then instead of them selling it for $550,000, they could sell it for $1 million. $1 million plus even. So let's hold on to our land, okay? Let's not fall for these little dangling of a couple of dollars for something that's worth a whole lot more because you're in a bad situation. You'll get out of it. You'll work your way out of it. We are resilient people. We always been resilient. Let's hold on to these assets and these things for our children, grandchildren, and other family members. Let's hold on to some of this generational wealth. Let's show them that number one thing that we see that they're trying to do is to take land and property and real estate out of our hands. Because let's face it, if you don't own nothing in the country, you're just existing in the country. So after seeing all that, I want to thank you again for liking and subscribing and supporting News FBA, because we definitely support you. Stay strong, my brothers and sisters. Let's buy some land.